honored to have one of the brightest minds in the world next to me right now in the Minds and Money Conference here in New York, a fellow Canadian, which I'm very proud of, by the way. He was named one of Time Magazine's top 100 most influential people in 2012. You've given TED Talks, you've been on the Colbert Report. Professor Sadoway, thank you so much for joining us on Kitco News.
It's my pleasure.
We're going to talk about how the universe is changing and your take on it. Are we headed in the right direction?
Oh yeah, we're headed in all directions. That's what happens when the universe expands. It goes in all directions.
It's interesting. I've been at a few conferences now that are focused on the platinum group metals, and there's talk that we might not need them one day with the direction we're heading in with electrical cars. How do you see it?
Well, if electric cars take off, if we get the battery technology correct, there will be less and less fossil fuel burned, and they won't need the catalytic converters. Now, there is some outside hope that on the part of PGMs that fuel cell vehicles will come into their own, and with a fuel cell vehicle you do need platinum group metals. So that's
So do you think the industry is accepting of this, or do you think there's still pushback and they're not accepting this reality here?
I think that they've learned lessons from what happened with silver, with the loss of halide film, and they realized that the antidote to change is to invent new applications. You can't fight the change. The change will come, and it's going to be based on the economics. And right now the electric vehicles, all battery electrics, haven't really taken off because, quite frankly, they're inferior to the vehicles that they're going to replace. But if they can get the range and the long battery life that people would expect, then you'll see them take off. But until then, I don't think the platinum people have a lot to fear.
Interesting. Well, you know, we are seeing more car companies jump on board. Volvo's going to be releasing their own and whatnot. So there's definitely a paradigm shift happening.
Well, I think at some level you're seeing people manufacturing them, but you're not seeing them being purchased in great numbers.
Do you find there's certain countries that are more accepting of this green energy movement than others? Like, who do you think is at the forefront of this?
Well, there's a difference between acceptance and what's really happening in the marketplace. So you can have countries that, like China, are saying, no, we want to have targets on the number of fuel cell vehicles, number of battery electric vehicles. And that's different from people who actually make the conscious choice to buy something differently. And I don't see that happening.
What's your main message to investors here, Professor? They've taken you out of the university and brought you into the Minds and Money world here.
My message is that the mines people have plenty of work, because we're going to change metals, maybe as we change battery chemistries, but there's always going to be room for these resources.
I'm sure that is going to be a very welcome message to this crowd. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And thank you for watching. We'll have much more for you on Kitco.com. Thank you.